Okay, welcome to Unit 3, the Digital Darkroom. This is a 2-week-long unit, and it replaces traditional darkroom technology, which I want to assure you is a lot of fun, you know, with the red safe light and the smell of the chemicals and that kind of thing. But frankly, after many years of doing it, it really got old, and I really love my computer and my copy of Photoshop and all the really fun things that you can do very easily without the expensive chemicals, the expensive film now with tools like Photoshop. Now, that said, this unit's 2 weeks long. It moves pretty quickly because I kind of put you through your paces here. There's quite a few things I want you to do, including downloading some free software, which sometimes takes some time. So let me tell you this, okay, that Photoshop itself is a very interesting tool, very large tool, and very expensive tool. Fortunately, you can buy it for $20 at Follett Bookstore, okay? You just need to bring in some kind of ID that you're a student. That's the good side. The downside is that Photoshop's huge. It takes up a remarkable amount of disk space, all right, and it takes up a remarkable amount of your space on your processing speed, all right. So unless you have a pretty new state-of-the-art computer, you don't want to mess with it. Trust me, okay. So there are a couple alternatives out there on the net that are free and legal, okay. It's very important to stay legal, okay. Don't be purchasing or stealing Photoshop clones. It's not a good habit to get into. But there are actual clones. I should have said Photoshop rip-offs, okay? There are actual clones that are legal, made by other companies that are free. Don't ask me why they're free. I'm not sure I know. But one's called GIMP. It's a Photoshop clone for Macs, and people that use it love it, all right? And then there's another one called PaintNet, although sometimes some of my students have had trouble downloading it, but I direct you to both of those. And if you're not satisfied with those, you can go to Google and just Google free Photoshop clones, all right, that kind of thing. So there's a variety of software out there that does mimic Photoshop. Photoshop's so huge that you never use all of its tools. And in fact, there's very minimal number of tools actually used in Photoshop, but I use them very frequently. So this textbook, this textbook as well as the lectures and links that I send you to walk you through a lot of the elements of Photoshop that you'll find elsewhere. And frankly, everybody's computer, if you're on the PC side, you've got a copy of Microsoft Office Picture Manager. It does a very nice job. There's a lot you can do with it. It's a very intuitive tool, so if you spend some time with it, you're going to just do fine, okay? In addition to cropping with Microsoft Office Picture Manager, you can adjust the color balance, you can adjust the saturation, you can adjust the lightness, the darkness, that kind of thing, all of which are important things. And then if you're on the Mac side, you've got iPhoto, which is also a very powerful tool. So don't feel that you have to have Photoshop. Nonetheless, take a look at everything I say about Photoshop. Please take a look at all these lectures, and you're going to learn a lot. My point here is that very rarely does the camera see what you see in your own imagination. All right, when you take a picture, you have something in mind that you're seeing, and very often even a high-end digital camera doesn't entirely translate what you're seeing in your own mind to a digital image on your computer screen or on paper, okay? So I think it's very appropriate to do some what I call photo enhancement. You're not changing the photo, but you're enhancing it. Now, once again, that said, there are ethical considerations, so I have quite a few readings on the ethical considerations, and I really want you to think about these. They're fun to think about, they're important to think about, and there's been some real travesties in recent history, recent photojournalism history that have created a real brouhaha out there in the professional photography world. So I think it's kind of fun to know about those. So please consider this a fun unit. Don't panic if you don't feel like buying a copy of Photoshop, or if you're a little wary of it, that's fine. All of these tools take a long time to learn. They're very intuitive. That said, my favorite tool presently in Photoshop is called the Levels tool. I think of it as a very powerful tool. It's quite intuitive. I think I do spend some time here talking about it in the next 2 weeks. So please dig in to this week. You're going to be doing, let me see what you're going to have here for photo assignments. You are going to post to your blog. Oh, some very fun assignments, as a matter of fact. So you're going to go back to your blog again, and you're going to post a couple items to your blog. That's what you're doing for actual assignments that you turn in this unit, okay? So please go through the table of contents on the left of your learning module for this unit. I didn't mean this week, I mean this unit. It's 2 weeks long. And please go through it each line by line, link by link. Please read the readings, and please look at my examples. As you may have noticed by now, my own blog is just filled with examples of the kinds of things that I like to do with Photoshop or other photo enhancement tools. I think any photograph can be very simply and elegantly enhanced with just a minimal amount of effort with even Microsoft Office Picture Manager or iPhoto, okay? You don't necessarily have to have Photoshop. I think all photos should be edited slightly, should be enhanced slightly before you actually put them up on Flickr or anyplace else. So please think of taking the picture as only the first step. The second step, before you upload it to your Flickr account or to your blog, is to enhance it some. That said, you should always keep a copy of the original. When you get ready to enhance a photograph, save it as something else and then work on that one. You always want to have 2 copies of your photo, the original copy for future use and then the enhanced copy. With that said, I better quit yakking. It's